Good evening, folks.
Nobody's there.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Immediately, nobody's there. Watch. Watch how quickly they pop up.
Yeah, they're gonna pop up in like 30 seconds, but I bet you the first one is gonna be
Christopher Lentz.
yeah,
Lentz.
Christopher Lentz. Oh,
Mike Miller. Mike's in Washington. Mike Katz is
I
watching.
thought
See?
it was gonna be Chris.
Can I show you this? Look at this. This Wayne is scot-free on his new electric bicycle, and this is his son, Vaughn.
Hi, I've been here a few times.
You've been here a few times. That's some hot bicycle. You want to go hear Wayne is scot-free play whenever we start playing again.
Yeah, I think my next gig is in 2022.
Mine is 2022. So we're practicing. We're practicing for our gigs. Hey, John Weber, Mary Jane.
Practicing one scale every month.
Once.
Yeah, majors and the minors.
Right.
For the next 24 months.
Right. We get to practice, really seriously, intently practice every scale. Once a month. Hello, Tierney Sutton. How are you, Tierney?
Yeah!
Woohoo! Woo, woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Woo. Look how pretty it is uptown. Isn't that pretty? Good crowd tonight. We're a good crowd. This is as close as I'm going to get to an audience for years. All the way up on the 16th floor. Woo! We're blocking the camera. Woo!
Yeah!
There they go. Hey! Everybody's really alive tonight, Wednesday night. Everybody's Wednesday night. Everybody's alive tonight. Really, I thought it was all over yesterday. Woo! And the elephants down the road. Woo! Woo! That's nice. How? Bill who? You see Bill somebody? Who's Bill? Oh, Bill Crow. Oh, I see. Now here's the part where we lose all the first-time viewers. When I drag my ass upstairs, on the stairs, and I go into the house, I brush my hair, and I wash my hands, and people tune in at that point and say, what is this? What do I want to watch him do that? Wayne, I'll see you later. Vaughn, I'll be upstairs. Nice bike.
Thank you.
Nice bike. So this is the part where we lose all the first-time viewers. They'll tune in and they'll say, what the hell's Leonhart doing? He's walking up the stairs. He's going into his house. He's washing his, brushing his. What kind of crap is this? And they go and but that's just part of it. That's the dues you have to pay. Because we've seen what happens when I turn it off and try to turn it back on again. Armando. Very well, thank you, sir. Ah, yes. Okay, I can hear the viewers going. I can hear the channels changing, the clickers. At my age, do you know how much more muscle it takes to walk upstairs and not hold on to the banister? You have to balance yourself with your legs. It's very good exercise to not hold on. Of course, you don't want to kill yourself either. Don't fall and kill yourself. The cute little mic is getting in the way. If I get a chance to show you what this mic looks like. I didn't tell anybody last night because Francois got really angry at me for touching the screen. he gets really pissed. Excuse me. See, we've already lost 100 viewers already. But I have to wash my hands. You can't not wash your hands. That's the whole deal. Wash your goddamn hands. I came in this morning and my grandson screamed at me because I didn't wash my hands. He was annoyed with me. It's not so bad. It's resting on its microphone. Oh, there you go. Folks, don't lose heart. Oops. I know where. I know it's tilted. I know. I see it. But you gotta wash my hands. Who did I hear from today? I heard from somebody good today. Forgot who. No. Tighten it up a little bit here. There we go. How's that? Everybody comfy? Matthias, how are you, Matthias? Hey, Christopher, great to see you. Howard, John Weber. Yes, test viewer loyalty. I mean, if you can't take a walk up the stairs and a hairbrushing and a hand washing, well, you're just, I don't know. It's not good. Linda, Jay, your Facebook party makes it real. New viewers should watch because it is real, and Jay isn't afraid to share reality with you. Well, what else do I have to share, actually? That's the problem. There's nothing else there. Breaking news. Trump criticizes Fauci for urging caution in opening schools. I'm glad. I'm sorry that my phone just told me that. Fauci. Grouchy Fauci. I'm sure that's what he's saying. That's what he's going to call him. Grouchy, old Grouchy Fauci. I found it. I found his newspaper today. A newspaper, magazine. Buddy Rich on the cover. From, God only knows when it was from. October 2005. And I looked through it, and no wonder I kept, there's a review of a record I did with Ted Rosenthal. Really good review of a record. A lot of great records in here. I just love. Don't worry, I won't read you the review. It's glowing. It's just glowing. It's so good. I would be embarrassed to read it, but that's why I got this, because of the. Actually, you see, this is my Mac Award for 2090 for 1992. This is 1997. Jazz instrumentalist singer, which I've based my whole career on. This award. Do you know that I won an award? I tell people. And then after that, since then, nothing. No awards except awards that you get, plaques that you get you fired. Oh, excuse me. I gotta turn this camera on. I have to turn this camera on. There's another camera happening, and I gotta turn it on. Power turned off. Oh, I'm coming back. I'm sorry. I also video this in with a real camera, just for the hell of it. Anyway, 2005. Didn't have all I've received from then is plaques that tell you how great you are and you're fired. It seems that every time I get an award, that's the end of it. It's a nice way of letting you go, getting out. Somebody else wants the gig. And, it's hard to get an owner to stick with you for 6 months, 2 years. The Blue Note did 10 years, from 1986 to 1996. Seems like I'm talking about, like, colonial days. 1996. Gee, that's a long time ago. Excuse me, I know, Howard, I know you really like to see my, keep this, I don't. There's no place on the piano here that's really good. Try to keep, where is he? Right there. It's down there. At all times, we must keep this in mind. Award winning. I don't know what to do with it. Ho, 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 ho. I always loved the singing on The Sopranos. The guy went, let me tell you something as we start the show. I can't come up with that voice that he used to sing on The Sopranos. That low sort of, I have to work with that. Let me tell you something as we start the show. It's a little something I thought you should know. So I will tell you as we set it into place. It's impossible to sing and play the bass. You're a lovely group of people that you deserve the courtesy of knowing what you can expect of me. I've practiced, but it will not mean a thing, 'cause it's impossible to play the bass and sing, 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 sing. You see, the bass is fretless, it's not like a guitar. On bass you spend your whole life wondering where the hell you are. It's got no little markers, just a fingerboard so bare, and lots of notes which often are not there. Then when you start singing, you've got lyrics on your mind, and the notes on bass become impossible to find. To remember lyrics, melodies, bass lines, and chords is no less a miracle than Lord's. Oh, wah, wah, wah. The Lord's. Everybody know what Lord's was? Wah, 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 wah. So as I make 1,000 errors, sit there and be kind. Do not throw tomatoes at me, keep this all in mind. Remember, this is serious. Remember, this is art. Remember this, or I'll fall apart. Then I'd have to pray to God to come in and to see. And she'd only sit and laugh at my wanton greed. She made the rules for molecules, atoms, time, and space. Yes, she made the rules for molecules, atom, time, and space. Yes, she made the rules for molecules, atoms, time, and space. And she knows it's impossible to sing and play the bass. Ooh, I gotta turn my computer off. It's gonna be making noises the whole time. So how do I do that? Oh, I'll just close the sound. Oh, I see. Yes. Wait a minute. There you go. Die computer. Okay. Sing and play the bass. I've been thinking about my dear old Uncle Jim, a man who led a sad and lonely life. He drank too much, he never finished much of what he started, divorced his only wife. He was my father's only brother, don't you know my mother? She never cared for Jim, 'cause he drank too much, divorced his wife. He never went to church once his whole life. They did not want us growing up like him. But to speak in his behalf, the man could joke, the man could laugh, and he brought joy into my life. What did I care if he drank too much and never finished nothing? Divorced his only wife. He and my father, see, they shared their similarities, but in most ways they was like day and night. My father was industrious, earned himself a fortune. Jim just liked to drink and write. When Jim was young, he went to working at the local papers, reporting on the hot news of his day. He ended up selling life insurance to his friends. No, but then somewhere along the line, he quit his job. He changed his mind. And why? He would not say. He went to work teaching English at the local high school and selling life insurance on his side. Ended up selling life insurance to his friends and was the only one who had none when he died. Once I went and lost the only thing besides his mason's ring that ever gave him any pride. I went and lost the gun that he brought home from World War I. I told him one night he got drunk and cried. When Jim got drunk, he used to introduce me to his goldfish, said he knew each and every one by name. He drank too much, but after his wife left him and his daughter took her life, he never was the same. Cancer finally got the man. He spent his final days shooting morphine, drinking booze. And in the weeks before he died, there was my mama at his side. She said, drink up, Jim, what you got to lose? Which is leading me to say that I've been thinking more these days about my dear departed Uncle Jim. He drank too much and never finished much of what he started. And they named me after him. I'm proud to say they named me after him. They named me after him. That's a good version of that. That was a very nice version of that song. Very nice version. Like one of the better versions I've ever played. It actually was. I liked. I don't know. See, this playing every night. This playing every night is even. I don't play. I'm not playing very much every day, but just performing every night. I feel like I'm right there with the bass. I don't have any questions about it. I'm not missing the notes. I'm not saying, oh, wait a minute, what note comes next? So that's good. That's a good thing. Now, just get this. It's supposed to be like, oh, I see what the problem was, because I was trying to adjust it for the song, and then come sit down at the piano again. Something just came, all these little, regardless of what's going on, all the little notes are still flying in. How do I love thee? Let me count the stairs. Thank you, Bill. That's it. You see, the people, they're still talking about the stairs. You hear that, Jay? Linda Yan is a seasoned media guru. Listen to her. Let me see. Where is she? Jay, you're makes it real. New viewers should watch you because it's real, and Jay isn't afraid to share reality with you. No candy coating here. No, I mean, we've all seen enough stuff, and I can still do my songs, and the songs are interesting. And I found from my years on the stage that I can talk to people. I sometimes say funny things, sometimes don't. But somehow, there's always something running through my mind. Today, for instance, I realized that two of my favorite politicians here in the East are named Murphy. Does anybody know who they are? Because I realized that this morning. Chris Murphy and Phil Murphy. Phil Murphy is the governor of New Jersey, and Chris Murphy is the senator from Connecticut. The Murphy boys. Oh, my mother would be proud. She was a Curtis. And they spent time in County Cork before coming to the United States. And my father was a Leonhart from Cologne, Germany. His mother was Dora Chancellor was her name. Dora Chancellor, she was from England. Or basically British or something like somewhere around there. And the chancellors came to the the new land, the new, what they call it, the new world, very early. And they wrote a book about it. And I happen to know John Chancellor. Remember the newscaster from many, many years ago? John Chancellor. I knew him for some reason. Because our names are the same. And because my middle name is Chancellor. James Chancellor Leonhart. That was Uncle Jim's name, James Chancellor Leonhart. James Chancellor Leonhart. And I got to get the news. The news keeps popping down on my phone. That's one little thing. I don't know how to stop that. Uncle Jim. Oh, lost my train of thought. Uncle Jim was. Forgot what I was trying to tell you about Uncle Jim. James Chancellor. Oh, the book. It was a book about the chancellors. And I gave it to John Chancellor, the newscaster, to look at it. He loved the book. It's full of crap. The book was full of crap. I can't believe it. And he never gave it back to me. He just loved that book. It gave him legitimacy in the world. I understand that. He was a West Virginia guy. He's a West Virginia guy who dotted his own. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to say that about him. But anyway, Benjamin Hankel is watching. Christopher Lentz is watching. Tom Hyland saw you a few years ago with Ken Poplowski and Willie Jones at 54 Below. Really? With Willie Jones III at 54 Below? I've forgotten that one. Back to E flat. Yes, E flat. It's easier for me to sing. My daughter's going to give me a singing lesson. She wants me to start going because I'm losing my range. And she's saying, I heard her practicing at this piano today, and she got a beautiful voice. She sings. So she said, "Go slowly, just lift it up and down." She said, "Do you vocalize?" I said, "Nah, I don't. I should, but I don't." And that's probably why I'm losing range. So as you sit here, I'm going to start vocalizing more during the day. I won't bother you with it now. But all you singers, and she said when you get stuck, if it gets too high, of course I'm going in, maybe I should do it all down here. If you get stuck, don't go out, go, somehow take the head and go sideways. Okay. I mean, she's a real serious teacher of the voice, so I don't question her. Okay. Doug Phillips is watching. Steve Lucas is watching. Back to E flat. Yes. Mike Mellor. We lost him. We lost who? Who'd we lose? He's back. Oh, me. You're talking to. Hi, Frank Skillern. Yes, man. Those triplets. Thank you. Thank you for my triplets. Tritone. Thank you. You know those guys who can write down music as it's happening? There are people who, I don't know how they do it. Can't imagine I can possibly write the key down by the end of the song. Howard Gloucester, alias John Weber, is like that. Gary Anderson out in the desert. How's the weather out in the desert tonight, Gary? Is it hot? Francois Zalakane is watching. Whoops, I got to be careful. I got to watch myself now. Francois Zalakane, checking in. Thank you, Francois. Francois Zalakane, who, excuse me, let me just get the product of his work here. Excuse me, folks. This album was put out by Sunnyside Communications, and Francois loves to watch the show. He gets a kick out of it, and he was the total executive producer of this record. It's called Joy. If you can see the word Joy written there, and it's with Tomoko Ono and Vito Leschek and myself, and it's a good record. I got an email from Vito. We're all stuck at home. We're not playing anyplace. Vito says, "I just listened to our record. That's a good record." Oh, thank you, Vito. I'm glad you appreciate it. He played on it. He likes it, and that's not usually the case. Often you play a record you're not crazy about it. You get so sick of doing it that you don't like it. And then you hear it about 18 years later and you go, "Oh, that's nice." And that happens to me all the time. Elaine Gallagher, hi from Dublin. Hi, Elaine. How are you? It's great. Now, of course, because I can now brag that I was thinking tonight that nobody checks in from London or the British Isles, as they say. And did you hear me bragging about, Eileen, did you hear me bragging about the Murphys? The Murphy boys? Chris Murphy is the senator from Connecticut, and Phil Murphy is the governor of New Jersey, and they're both, see, I don't mean to be political, but I have deeply liberal leanings, which means I think government should really be for the people, and government should really support every citizen all the time. And our government is trying not to do that these days. Our government is sort of saying, no, I don't want to do that. It's too expensive. I don't have the money to do that. I told you last night, I researched it. According to my research, the net worth of the United States is $259 trillion. 259 trillion. That's TR with a bunch of zeros behind it. And if we get in debt, we can pay our debts back. We have the capacity to pay our debts back, and we're getting in debt. Republicans, they don't like it. They don't want to spend the money on us. They want to spend the money on other things, on business. And those of us who can't do business, oops, I'm sorry. I'm really trying not to get there. I'm trying not to go there. But I think liberally, and so do my two favorite Murphys here in town. So, Elaine, that's why I'm bringing it up to you, is because and I'm reading books about all the wars by Adam Tooze, and Adams talks about the liberal politicians in Germany before the war, and it always turns out that they're just trying to do things with the government to help the people. At least that's the way it looks to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just another naive bass player. Hi from Dublin. Christopher Lentz. Great. Christopher Smith. Okay, Chris, how are you? I don't know if we're going to be out this weekend because we need internet, and I don't think it's in there yet. Hi, Jay. Great to hear you. You. Hi, Tomoko. Hello, Jay. Christopher Smith. Steve Pical is watching. Stephen Goldberg. The Murphy brothers. Thank you. That's right. Christopher Lentz. Yes. Bill Crow. I played the Cork Jazz Festival one year with Spike Robinson. There was jazz everywhere, except this one pub, which, just a second, we got to finish reading this, which had a chalkboard sign outside that read, Jazz Free Zone. Jazz Free Zone. Yeah, I played the Cork Festival one time, too. I played it in the 90s. I went over there as a solo act. Just what I'm doing here. Went over as a solo act. And they gave me a room. I played 3 nights in that room, 2 shows a night. The first night, I sold every CD I had. I had pockets. I sold them for, I think it was 10 pounds, which was about $20 a piece. And I sold every one I had. Sold 100 CDs. I had 100 10-pound notes in my pocket. And for the next 3 days, I didn't have any CDs to sell. I could have made enough to what? I had blown it all anyway. But I was there, and the Irish loved what I was doing. I have a song called The Couple from Duluth, and there was a city right near me, right near Cork, called Demuth, D-U. And when I sang that, they just thought, I couldn't believe I would know that. And I didn't, but somebody told me about it. Jazz Free Zone. Wait a minute. There's Francois. Francois is telling me, do not touch the phone. I can't help it, Francois. We're having a little earthquake here. Hold on for a second. We'll be all right. We'll be. Just hold on. There, it went away. Nancy Reed is watching. Nancy, I saw a picture of you at the jazz festival at Delaware Water Gap at Stroudsburg. You were interpreting something very, very nicely. John Rainey, hello there. Hi, John. How are you? Hey, Christopher Lentz, great recording. Great recording. Oh, mine. Thank you, Chris. I'm checking. Tomoko Ono, who likes to say New Jersey, She likes to, so you'd think she was born there. You know, that's what she's trying to do, be a native. New Jersey. Gerald Gray was watching. Nilsson Mata. Nilsson, I saw, there's a review of you in this, there's a review of the trio that usually be talking about this jazz improv with Buddy Rich on the cover. And there's a review of my CD in here. And a lovely review it was. Oh, and Roger Calloway's in there. Look at this. This is like old home week. And there's a review of your group, of the trio de Paz. And there's a review of Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. Who knew? Who knew? I'm sorry, I'm just going to read the book. You all talk amongst yourselves. I have to read this book. Andy Laverne, Mark Morcana. Everybody's in this book. Everybody I know is listed here. Where's the trio de Paz? It was here. And Bob Stewart, if you're tuned in, your review's in here too. Those of you who don't have a review in this magazine, where the hell were you? Why? You picked the wrong time. John DiMartino, Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker. Where's the Chet Baker? Well, you know, I love Chet Baker's music, but he was such a scoundrel. There's Barry Harris. Oh, well, I'm sure I saw it here. Oh, I can't find it. I'm not going to waste any more time. But it was there. The trio de Paz. You and Homero and Nilsson and I can't think of his name. So we're all in fine company. Murphy's Law. There you go. We will be around this weekend. Hope you make it out. Oh yeah, Chris. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to. I'm not going to do it unless we have internet in our house out there. And I called Earthlink, and they promised me that they could do it for me. But I doubt if it's going to happen. Arnold Schnitzer. Hi, Arnold. How are you? I know, Francois. Don't touch the phone. Well, I have to scroll and see who's calling in. Basefully, Nilsson Mata. Beautiful. Nancy Reed. Thanks, Jay. Christopher Lentz. Buddy. Alejandro Zoninga. Linda the Dig Trio de Paz. Yes, yes. Hello, John Rainey. Oh, no, people are talking to each other. I should just continue on. Jean Leon. Daduka. Thank you. That's great. See, I don't have to remember anything. It just pops up to you. Wait a minute. Am I getting emails from my brain? Is this what's happening? Please tell us something about the Sunday gig every Sunday at the Blue Note Jazz Club. Nilsson Mata. Please tell you something about it. Well, I started it in 1986 with Mike Renzi and Grady Tate. And I don't know if we had a horn player or not. I don't remember that. But soon we started, Renzi started traveling too much, and who did I hire? A nice fellow named Roger Calloway, who really played very nicely. And when Roger couldn't make it, and then Grady would make it, and Terry Clark, the drummer, really wonderful drummer from Canada, who used to live on Roosevelt Island, and he played for a while, and then he would do it, and we'd have all kinds of other wonderful substitute drummers playing. I mean, every great drummer in town played the gig, and then Bill Charlotte played it, and Ted Rosenthal played it. Ted and I Ted can still play the entire book by heart. He doesn't need the music. You know, every once in a while we sat down and played. And by the way, you have to look on Facebook for Ted's videos. He does, go to his site, because he does solos, just sits at the piano and plays, and it is beautiful. Beautiful. It's not quite as good as my piano playing, but he does his best. It's gorgeous. Marion McSweeney. Oh, I should play something. It was great. I saw you guys. Oh, did you? Yeah. And then Marvin Stamm and Jim Pugh started playing with us. And every week we'd have a horn player playing with us. And it was fun. And I did it for 10 years. 10 years. Oh, I'll sing a song about that I mentioned. That's what I want to do. I want to do this song because I was playing with Mel Torme. Oops. It says trying to reconnect. Aren't we all? I'm trying to reconnect too. There's so many nice. Michelle Benson. That's when I got a chance to sit in with you. Oh, Grady and Roger. It was so great to sit and listen to that trio. Yeah, boy, Grady and Roger and me. What wonderful company that is. Gee. And Roger, I was going to work with Roger. It's another one of those gigs I didn't do this spring. Oh my God. Just so many gigs. And then I just got something from the New York State of Unemployment saying, you know, you could get fund money because you didn't. And I said, well, okay. They asked me, how much did I lose? And I said, oh, man, you can't imagine. And I might get an extra thing for them, going backwards to like 1976 or something like that. You know, maybe $500 a week for the last 40 years. That'd be nice. I'll take it. Tony Burra, hi. Hi, Tony. How are you? Anyway, I was playing at the Blue Note. And I decided, I was playing that week in Washington with Mel Torme at Blues Alley. That was a lot of fun. Torme, where's Torme? Torme, where are you? I have a picture. Where's Torme? I'll never find it in time. I have every picture I took, and I can't find Torme. It's a funny picture of him, but I can't find it. And I decided I would come up to New York and play the brunch on a Sunday morning. And I would take the shuttle back to Washington and do the show, the final show of the week with Mel. But fate intervened. And I knew I had to write a song about it. So what I do is I write a poem about it. And if I like the way the poem's going, then I decide to sing it. And all my songs have the same form, basically. Here I am sitting, writing a song. Hope I don't get this thing all wrong. But I'll do my best to make it good. And if I don't, at least I should. I know. If I like it, which I wouldn't sing that one. But sometimes I like songs. There was one I really wanted to write about recently. I can't think of what it was. Maybe it was about the Irish and something. I see it, and then if I don't write it down, I forget. And I never dream of things I want to write down, but I'm always walking along and I say, oh, that's a perfect idea for a song. And if I don't write it down, I don't remember it. But this song, I was in. So as I say, I decided I would come up to New York and play the brunch. Take the shuttle up from Washington, from the gig from Torme Sunday night, play the brunch and go back down in time. Except when I got to the airport, the weather was terrible. It's 5 p.m. I'm sitting in an airplane at LaGuardia. The captain says there will be a delay. Oh no, this isn't good. You see, I've got to be in Washington, D.C. tonight to play for Mel Torme. Out the window of the airplane, lightning's crashing, winds are thrashing, skies are dark and rain is whipping by. Still, somehow, 3 hours from now, I've got to be in Washington, D.C. This plane has got to fly. I did not tell a soul last night about my little New York flight. I knew that I could make it back in time. But now it looks like Mel Torme may play tonight without the bass. And let me tell you, that would be a crime. Ooh, that would be a crime. I really hate to say it, but I think my luck has finally run out. My warranty has just expired. 'Cause if I am not in Blues Alley tonight at 8 o'clock and playing bass for Mel Torme, I will be fired. You see, I really like this job. We always have a lot of fun, and everybody gets along real well. We play a lot of real nice music. I get lots of solos. But now I'm going to blow it all to hell. It's going to be curtains with Torme. I'm very sad to have to say I will be history. I will be gone. So as the plane just sits right here, I'll figure out a new career. But adios, Mel. I'll be moving on. Then around 6:35, the engines roar, they come alive, and seconds later, we are in the air. I begin to think that there is hope that I may somehow make this gig tonight. Oh, do I even dare? But Lord, the weather's terrible. We're flying right through thunderstorms, yet the captain just keeps pressing on. Now the airplane's diving, dumping, jiving, jumping, bouncing, bumping. I think I can see the White House lawn. It defies all understanding how we could be really landing, but at 7:30 we touched down. Congratulations, Captain. No, I never had the slightest doubt. Now, pardon me, I've got to get downtown. I get a taxi right away with absolutely no delay. I tell the taxi driver of my plight. Before we even settle down, he mashes that old pedal down. We fly to town as we make every light. O'clock we reach Blues Alley. I walk in quite casually, as if I weren't under such duress. I saunter through the restaurant trying to be nonchalant, but inside I am a total mess. I see the show has not begun. They're waiting for me. Oh, isn't this fun? I don't think I'll survive. So fully prepared to meet my doom, I walk into the dressing room to find I'm the first one to arrive. With all my worry and my fear, it turns out I'm the first one here. Sometimes life can be sublime. In spite of all the stress and strain I went through on that stinking train, I'm the only one who's here on time. The only one on time. Then around 8:35, the others frantically arrive, apologizing all the way. They're rushing around, they're in a panic like musicians on the Titanic. I tell them, fellas, it's okay. Everyone, including Mel, is rushing around upset at hell, except me. I'm as calm as I could be. Here I almost blew this gig, I almost screwed up really big, but now I'm Mr. Punctuality. Punctuality. I was absolutely certain I would never make this curtain. This gig would be the death of me. I could feel the noose around my neck. I was a total nervous wreck. But now, Mr. Punctuality. It's 5 p.m. I'm sitting in an airplane at LaGuardia. The captain says there will be a delay. Oh no, this isn't good. You see, I've got to be in Washington, D.C. tonight to play for Mel Torme. I am on time, and everything's okay. And I'm going to play for Mel. Torme! Torme. So that's that. That's that. Oh, I wish that picture of Torme was around. I know it's in my pile, but you think I'm going to sit and look for that? You're wrong. I'm not. I'm not. Yes, I am. For a second. I'm going to look for it for a second. Give me a second. I know I've got it here. And we've all seen it. Oh, here's one. This isn't Torme, but this is me and Clarence Thomas. Can you imagine that? I bet if I printed this on my new printer, I went to the Supreme Court. I told you this story. Most of you have heard all these stories. That's the problem. Bring somebody with you who next time, who hasn't heard of these stories. But this me and Clarence Thomas. I did a concert down there with Barbara. Who was it with? Barbara Cook, not Barbara Carroll. Barbara Cook, Ted Rosenthal, John Pizzarelli, and myself. and and all the Supreme Court justices, most of them. This is sponsored by Justice Ginsburg. Oh, what a sweetheart she is. Oh, God bless her. And now she's 87 and she just had a kidney operation or something like. Ooh, please keep. She's heroic. She wants to stay alive for a while. I don't blame her. Is this my right hand? Yeah. Torme, Supreme Court. Anyway, can you imagine playing a concert for the Supreme Court? And I like the way they grilled. Everybody grilled the president's lawyers yesterday. It was fun to listen to them. I sat and had dinner next to Elena Kagan, who's gained weight since I knew her. She's gained a lot of weight. Elena, you're going to have to have a few more veggies. Oh, I hope she's not watching. She'll be pissed. But I don't see her name in there. She's probably a little busy. She may be busy with other things, so she's not watching. Hilarious song. Love it. Thank you, John Weber. Tomoko Ono was clapping. Francois, if we like it, and I think you might, I only hope it's your delight. Ah, there you go. Ned White is watching. Mike Melito's watching. Tony Pereira's watching. Okay, good. Well, we have a nice full house tonight. It's what did I want to say? What I wanted to say. Bo Leonhart. Oh, my sister on the West Coast is watching. Hi, Bozy. How you doing? Hope you. That's Bo Leonhart. She was a beautiful guitar player. She's a terribly bright human being, and I know it's my sister, but I'm telling you the truth anyway. And I have 3 sisters. One watches me she lives in France, and she watches me every morning. In other words, she'll turn on the video and watch this. No, I think she must watch it live because she answers. She responds. She's not watching it tonight, I don't think. Hi, Bozy. Hope you're well. Because Jeannie responds live, so gee whiz. It's only 1 o'clock. I think she tunes in for a minute and then watches me the next morning. And Bo lives in California, and she tunes in all the time. And Valerie lives in Baltimore, and she tunes in all the time. My sisters are very loyal. My brother tunes in. He and Priscilla, his lovely wife, Priscilla Quinby, they live in Ashland, Oregon. And they tune in very often. My brother John does not. But he calls me from time to time and swears like a sailor. And I have to tell him, please, we're live. He doesn't care. Do you recommend Ronnie Graham? Do you remember? I'm sorry, the print's so small. I don't know. Yeah, sure, I remember Ronnie Graham. Absolutely. Very funny guy. Very funny guy. We all remember Ronnie Graham. Everybody remembers Ronnie. All this crowd all remembers Ronnie. Even Bill Crow remembers Ronnie. Bill, you've been very silent tonight. You have not talked very much. You've not been adding your very funny quips to it. When you were singing your song, I was reminded of him. You know, I can see that. Yes, I can. Was told once, I reminded somebody of Dick Smothers. I went, no. Hey, Kansas City digs you. Thanks, Ned. If you're a representative of Kansas City, I'm thrilled. I told you once I was walking on 79th and Madison, and who's standing next to me is Paul Newman. Just walking along. And I had been told by some people that I looked a little bit like Paul Newman. Most of it was my blue eyes. So I turned to Paul Newman. He was standing right there next to me. I said, Mr. Newman, Jay Leonhart. And he goes, uh-huh. I said, people have told me I look like you. And he looks at me, he studies me, and goes, okay, we went our separate ways. I remember Ronnie. I knew you would. I remember Ronnie Graham. Absolutely. I'm trying to learn to read the little print and not squinch up because I've watched a few videos and I didn't like that. So I learned to go, oh yes. But I have to put, you see, with these, what do you call them, progressives, you're down here. I focus down, and the print's very, so loyal are we. Yes, Bowie, the women of the family are very loyal. I remember Ronnie. Okay, it's at 7:54, and we've got to do something constructive here. And I think while I'm happy to talk, as long as you guys are pushing me along, without it, I don't have anything to talk about. What do I have to talk about? But I may never end up going to Europe again in my life. The way things are going. Who wants to get on a plane? I'll be writing no songs about this. But the last time, well, in the 80s or 90s, there used to be these little cards that you had to fill out for the Department of Agriculture, was it? About everything you brought in or what you didn't bring in, or did you have any plants or anything. And I decided for a show that was on an off-Broadway show, I wrote a song called Customs, in which I was supposed to be in the customs office with everything you shouldn't have. Everything. Here I am in customs, inexplicably detained. And from getting angry, I will have to be refrained. Yes, I've read the regulations. What could the problem be? Why, oh, why are you detaining me? Okay, perhaps I did pick up a couple things abroad, but this kind of harassment really ought to be outlawed. You're making such a big deal over minuscule details. So much fuss about a box of snails. Yes, I have been in Nairobi raising sheep and cattle. Yes, I read the regulations, all that pointless prattle. But so much fuss and bother about a bag of soil. Frankly, you are making my blood boil. I've got 2 alligators from the hot Brazilian swamps. A testy little chimpanzee that screeches, bites, and stomps. An otter from the Maldives, a goat from Kathmandu. A cockroach from a hut in Timbuktu. A little baby llama from the mountains of Tibet. Moo. 6 or 7 ostrich eggs that have not hatched quite yet. Mosquitoes from Botswana. A parrot from Peru. And you won't let me through. You confiscate my passport. Now that is such a drag. Just because you found a couple earthworms in my bag. I've read the regulations. What could the problem be? Why, oh, why are you detaining me? Getting all upset, I do not understand. This is just a Paraguayan pigeon perching on my hand. These are just some monkey droppings I found in Zaire. And now you won't come near. You want to check my briefcase? Go ahead now, please. What are those? Nothing. Persian bugs and fleas. a little Irish whiskey, some camembert from France, turtles, killer bees, fire ants. I bring back some souvenirs and you all get so frantic, like maybe I should toss them all right into the Atlantic. I've read the regulations. What could the problem be? Why, oh, why are you detaining me? Why, oh, why are you detaining me? Why, oh, why are you detaining me? Zoo, zap. It's a softball on the floor and it got in the way. This is an all-purpose studio. Actually, the softball is very good to roll under my back, just on the floor and on your buttocks. It's very good to get the soreness and the stuff out. So then my softball is very, very important. Oh, I'm just haunted by this. Oh well, I'll show you this one instead because you've seen this one, but it's a funny picture. Oh, and I'm ruining it. Oh, I should take a photo of this. That's obviously Tony Bennett there in the middle. John Bunch leading the band. Me playing the bass, and right down in here is Ruby Braff. Where's Ruby? Where's Ruby? Ruby's over here by John. Oh, backwards again. Well, you can see it. I know. It's hard. I'm not making it easy. I understand that. But that's Ruby Braff in there. And that was, I remember this, I remember this moment clearly because this is, I remember when this picture was taken. I remember this, Muhammad Ali had just won his comeback fight against somebody who he had lost to before. And he came back and won decisively. And everybody got crazy. And that was the moment. I should look that up. When was that? Is there a date on here? No. Anyway, I guess I need files that I can come up with quickly of all the people I want to brag about. But I don't have them. It's just, here's my file. This is my file. Here's me and Tomoko at the Blue Note. But that's not what we're looking for. Looking for Mel Torme and I can't find him. No. Did you remember this picture? I love this picture so much. We were talking about it last night. This is Bill Crow, Phil Woods, Jerry Dodgen, Victor Feldman, and I forget his name, this tenor player from the Tonight Show who led the Tonight Show when Doc wasn't there. What was his name? Bill told me last night. Oh, what was his name? Oh God. Anyway, they're in Russia, and there's obviously on a beach in Russia on some. I wonder where they would be, in the ocean, or would this be like the river? A lake? I don't know. Well, somebody remember Howard, John Weber. You remember who's? Oh, Foreman. Right, he had lost to Foreman. Thank you. Where you're, who's his saxophone player? Rumble in the Jungle. 1974. Oh my God, it's coming in. Who is the? Oh, Tommy Newsom. Tommy Newsom. That's who it is. Tommy Newsom is. I can't do this backwards, but one of these guys here. One of these guys. One of them is Victor Feldman, and one of them is Tommy Newsom. Black Sea, Sochi. This is a Black Sea. Bill Crow says. The Black Sea. Oh, and this is Joe Newman is the African American trumpet player there. So anyway, that's a fantastic picture. Woo! Boy, I love that picture. Anyway, it's now 8:03, and what about Tommy Dorsey? I wrote a song about, was it Jimmy Dorsey? Who went down in the plane? Oh, it's a very irreverent song. I don't know if I want to sing it, because people who were in the war and love Jimmy Dorsey don't think it's funny. But it was just a very irreverent song of me, and Banksy Sochi, Birdland, Christopher Lentz, Tommy Dorsey. I'm not doing Tommy Dorsey. Joe Newman, yeah, I got that one. So I guess you guys probably type it in. It probably takes 10 seconds to get here. That's what that is. You probably type it in right away, and then it pops up on my screen 10 seconds later. Anyway, listen, it's been a grand adventure this evening. Roberta Robleski Brenza is watching. Christopher, don't leave yet. You're the best man. What a killing band, thank you. Well, I pay the guys well, and we rehearse a lot. And we're going to think of something to play. I know what I often close with. Yeah, I need to practice this song anyway. It's my ode to Steely Dan. Do, 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 do. Please don't pull the trigger. Please don't shoot me dead. I will be no use to you with a bullet in my head. Please don't pull the trigger. I'll tell you all I know. I left the money down in Mexico. Down in Mexico. Down in Mexico. I was in Helsinki when you first met with Svetlana. I was in Nairobi when the fools they called you Buona. I was in Rio on the day that you got shot. I watched the bullets dancing off your yacht. I was in Bermuda when you sailed out to the reef. I shot the boat full of the men so hell-bent on your grief. But now the hangman has his evil eyes on you. He knows about the party in Peru. Change the color of your eyes. Pack up all your lies. Put on your disguise and get the hell out of here. I say in your behalf, they've got your polygraph. They know all about your laugh, so get the hell out of here. Out of here. Please don't pull the trigger. Please don't shoot me dead. I will be no use to you with a bullet in my head. Please don't pull the trigger. I'll tell you all I know. I gave the blueprints to an Eskimo. To an Eskimo. I was in New York riding in your limousine, doing all your dirty work so quiet and unseen. You go to Harlem and you do the dumbest thing. You shoot the man who wears a diamond ring. Hudson River barges full of diamonds, full of lies. Hudson River barges full of vermin, full of flies. So I negotiate, somehow you escape, before they squash you like a grape. Change the color of your eyes. Pack up all your lies. Put on your disguise and get the hell out of here. Carlos has a plan. He's a very evil man. Like they say in Steely Dan, you better get out of here. Out of here. Out of here. Please don't pull the trigger now. Please don't shoot me dead. Please don't move a muscle now. Please don't turn your head. Cause in the corner with his sights set right between your eyes sits Carlos in disguise. Ooh, Carlos in disguise. See his evil look, see his dirty stare. Fall down on your knees and beg, he does not really care. I'm sorry for the double cross, but money talks you know, and now I must be off to Mexico. Then to a rendezvous in Tokyo. Don't do it, Tomoko. And by the way, Svetlana says hello. Svetlana says hello. If it sounded out of tune, it's because I'm singing the major seventh. Hello. Why do I write like that? I don't know. Hello. By the way, Svetlana says hello. That's where you're right. That's where I write. But it sounds, the piano sounds a little better. Anyway, that's my closing song. That's what we usually often close our sets with. That's what I close this set with. Clean this mess up. We'll all end up in jail. The test tube and the scale. Just get it out of here. Oh, is that what it is? I don't. You know, I couldn't pay attention to the lyrics, and I've sat with, because of the kids, I've sat with Donald Fagen several times, and discussed lyrics with him. Lucky me. Anyway, great to see you all. Thanks for hanging in there. I look forward to tomorrow night. We'll have some other adventures to discuss, and some song. Oh, I forgot to do that. Oh my God, I forgot to do the word song tonight. So we'll do one tomorrow night. We won't do two to make up for it. Just do one. I'll see you all later. Hi, Kristen. Mike Meacham. Clean a mess up. Hi, Gene. Steely Dan quote. Ha ha ha, Steely Dan quote. That's right. That's right. Gene, you know, both my kids play with Steely Dan. Did you know that? That's my major brag in this world. As for the last 22 years, my kids have been instrumental in everything that Steely Dan has done. I know it was my favorite band of all time, and both my kids play with it. And I've had a few. I played on a couple tracks. They insisted because I was the one they wanted, not because I was the father of their trumpet player and their lead background singer. But that's another story. We'll talk about that some other time. Good night, you all. Bye-bye.